All right, Bears fans, the stage is set for what could be one of the most pivotal games of the season, and the storylines coming into this matchup are impossible to ignore. Heading into tomorrow, the Chicago Bears are facing a host of injury concerns that could have a major impact on the field. Starting with the linebackers, the team has seen significant losses. Noah Sue is dealing with an elbow injury that has kept him off the field, while Ruben Hiplight is sidelined with a shoulder problem. Tremaine Edmonds has already been placed on injured reserve, meaning that 4 of the team's top 5 linebackers are now unavailable. Tyreek Stevenson is battling a hip injury and is unlikely to play, and Dominique Robinson remains in the concussion protocol, leaving the Bears with a defense that has been stretched thin over the last few weeks. Adding to the uncertainty, Javon Dexter appeared on the injury report with a hand injury, raising questions about whether he was hurt in practice or during earlier game action. The good news is that this isn't a soft tissue injury, which means it may not be long-term, but it's certainly something fans will be watching closely as the week progresses. On the brighter side, there are players who are expected to be ready. Theo Benedict, who had been uncertain for the left tackle spot, is listed as available, and while Ben Johnson mentioned he might start, the likelihood is that Aussie Trapillo will take the snaps at left tackle. Travis Homer and Kyle Manungi are also expected to play, providing some stability in the lineup. The question of whether Jalen Johnson or Kyler Gordon will be activated remains, but with Tyreek Stevenson unlikely to play, Jalen Johnson might be needed to fill the outside corner spot. As for Kyler, the decision will likely be made closer to game time, but the team still has C.J. Gardner-Johnson as a strong option, providing flexibility in the defensive backfield. Looking across the league to Philadelphia, the Eagles are dealing with their own set of injuries that could affect their game plan. Devontae Smith's status is a key storyline. He has not practiced this week due to a combination of shoulder and chest issues, along with an illness that could impact his readiness. Lane Johnson is confirmed out with a foot injury, and starting safety Andrew Makuba is sidelined with a fractured leg. Xavier Gibson also missed practice, though other backup linemen like Willie Lannon and Miles Hinton have been participating fully, so the depth chart appears intact beyond the starters. Saquon Barkley is expected to play despite a minor groin issue, and Landon Dickerson has been managed carefully through a knee concern but should be ready for game action. Reed Blankenship also seems set to play, and the veteran Brandon Graham may or may not see the field, depending on how he recovers this week. All of this paints a picture of a game where both teams are managing injuries and lineup uncertainties while preparing for a high-stakes NFC showdown. When it comes to the broader context, the stakes could not be higher. This game is set against the backdrop of the NFC playoff race, with the winner potentially securing the number 2 seed. For the Bears, this matchup represents an opportunity to continue a remarkable run, having won 4 of their last 5 games and aiming for a 5th straight victory. The energy around the team has never been higher, especially under Ben Johnson's leadership. The coach has quickly built a culture that emphasizes resilience, adaptability, and the ability to overcome adversity, which has been critical given the injuries the team has faced. Caleb Williams has had his ups and downs at quarterback, but he has shown the ability to make crucial plays in tight situations, keeping the offense dynamic and unpredictable. On the defensive side, despite being shorthanded at times, the unit has demonstrated progress under Dennis Allen, with a tactical approach that maximizes the players available and creates opportunities for impactful plays. The special teams, led by Tim Hightoe Tower, have also improved over the past few weeks, providing stability and support across the roster. For the Eagles, the narrative is somewhat different. While they sit at 8-3 and have the talent to compete at a high level, inconsistencies have plagued their season. Their offensive coordinator, Kevin Bullough, is still finding his rhythm as a first-time play caller, which has led to a lack of flow at times. Philadelphia's offensive line, which was one of the strongest in the league last season, has struggled this year, particularly along the interior, affecting both pass protection and the running game. This has had a direct impact on Saquon Barkley, whose yards before contact have been significantly reduced compared to last year, limiting the explosive plays that the Eagles relied on previously. Jalen Hurts has been a standout with an impressive touchdown-to-turnover ratio, but even his performances have been inconsistent, reflecting the broader challenges within the offense. Penalties have also been an issue, with the Eagles committing 8 or more in multiple games, which has disrupted momentum and undermined offensive efficiency. All these factors combine to create a team that is talented yet vulnerable, offering the Bears opportunities to capitalize if they can execute effectively. The tactical chess match between these two teams is fascinating. The Bears thrive on explosiveness, generating significant plays both in the running game and through the air, which could challenge Philadelphia's conservative approach. The Eagles often rely on their talent advantage, playing a careful game designed to minimize mistakes. But against a team like Chicago that can create explosive plays at any moment, this approach may be tested. Chicago's ability to take advantage of play action and exploit weaknesses in Philadelphia's defensive structure could be a decisive factor, especially given the Eagles' struggles to defend longer passing plays. With both teams facing critical injuries and strategic considerations, this game is shaping up to be a high-intensity contest where preparation, adaptability, and execution will be the keys to success. In terms of individual matchups, there are intriguing storylines that could define the outcome. For the Bears, monitoring who steps up in the linebacking core and whether key defensive backs are activated will be crucial. The Eagles will need to see if Devontae Smith can play at full strength and whether the offensive line can protect Jalen Hurts effectively. Saquon Barkley's performance and the ability to generate explosive runs will be central to Philadelphia's offensive strategy, while Chicago will look to leverage its speed, versatility, and tactical schemes to counteract these strengths. Additionally, Chicago's special teams improvements could play a subtle yet significant role, affecting field position and momentum in a game expected to be closely contested. Beyond the XS and OS, the atmosphere surrounding this matchup is electric. Fans of both teams understand the magnitude of the game, with playoff implications adding weight to every snap and every decision. Chicago, with its proud history and passionate fan base, has not felt this level of excitement in several years, and the current winning streak has injected energy into the city and the locker room alike. Philadelphia, as defending champions, enters with expectations and pressure, knowing that any slip could alter their path in the postseason. This convergence of high stakes, talent, and strategy makes for a compelling narrative, with storylines developing not just on the field, but at how the coaches adjust, how players respond to adversity, and how momentum shifts throughout the contest. As the anticipation builds for this NFC showdown, it becomes clear that the battle between the Chicago Bears and the Philadelphia Eagles is not just about talent on the field, but also about adaptability, coaching ingenuity, and the ability to respond under pressure. Both teams have been forced to navigate injury challenges and personnel adjustments, which adds layers of unpredictability to the matchup. For the Bears, the absence of key linebackers has tested their depth and resilience. Yet the coaching staff has found ways to compensate by leveraging versatility and situational awareness. Players like Travis Homer and Kyle Manungi are expected to play pivotal roles, and their ability to step into the spotlight could be the difference in close situations. Theo Benedict's availability at left tackle, even if he does not start, provides an added layer of security on the offensive line, allowing the Bears to maintain some consistency in their blocking schemes despite roster turbulence. The activation decisions for Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon will also influence the defensive strategy, especially in coverage matchups against Philadelphia's dynamic receivers. Chicago's defense, though tested, has shown a knack for opportunistic plays and timely stops, and it will be fascinating to see how they adjust to the Eagles' offensive tendencies, particularly on third downs and in the red zone. For the Eagles, the injury landscape presents its own set of challenges. Devontae Smith's health remains a significant question mark, and his availability could dramatically alter Philadelphia's offensive game plan. Lane Johnson's absence on the offensive line removes a key veteran presence, forcing the team to rely on younger players or backups to fill critical gaps in protection and run blocking. Andrew Makuba's absence at safety further strains the defensive backfield, while Xavier Gibson's DNP status and the management of other backups create a delicate balancing act for the coaching staff. Saquon Barkley, despite minor issues, is expected to contribute, and his ability to gain yards before contact will be pivotal, especially given the Eagles' struggles in the running game this season. Landon Dickerson and Reed Blankenship are expected to participate, providing some stability in key positions, while Brandon Graham's availability remains uncertain, adding another variable to an already complex preparation process. The strategic implications of this matchup extend far beyond individual injuries. Chicago's offensive identity is built on generating explosive plays, whether through the air or on the ground, and this approach could directly challenge Philadelphia's typically conservative game plan. The Eagles have often relied on a methodical approach, aiming to minimize mistakes and capitalize on opponents' errors. Yet the Bears' ability to force high-pressure situations could disrupt this rhythm. Play action and deep passing opportunities may expose weaknesses in the Eagles' coverage, particularly if the offensive line struggles to maintain pocket integrity for Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia's inconsistencies in pass games, including penalty issues and challenges on third downs, could be exacerbated by the aggressive, fast-paced style of the Bears. Chicago's coaching staff, led by Ben Johnson, has shown a strong capacity to adapt in-game, making adjustments based on opponent tendencies and personnel limitations, which could be a deciding factor in a closely contested battle. From a historical and cultural perspective, this game represents a meaningful moment for both franchises. Chicago has not experienced this level of excitement and optimism in several seasons, and the current momentum under Ben Johnson's leadership has invigorated the fan base. The combination of a winning streak, dynamic quarterback play, and a defense that can rise to the occasion has created an environment where every game feels consequential, and the team's ability to maintain focus and composure will be crucial. Philadelphia, as defending champions, carries the weight of expectations and the pressure to sustain success in a competitive NFC landscape. Their performance in this game could have playoff seeding implications, potentially determining the difference between a home field advantage or a more challenging path through the postseason. The stakes add intensity not only for the players and coaches, but also for the fans, creating an electric atmosphere that underscores the significance of each play and each decision. Examining individual matchups further illuminates the layers of complexity in this contest. The Bears' offensive line will need to protect Caleb Williams effectively while providing lanes for the running game, even as the team contends with the absence of several key defenders. Chicago's skill players, particularly in the receiving core and backfield, must execute routes precisely and create separation against a Philadelphia defense that, while talented, has been inconsistent in coverage assignments and tackling efficiency. On the defensive side, the Bears will aim to pressure Jalen Hurts and disrupt the timing of the Eagles' passing game, exploiting vulnerabilities in the offensive line and taking advantage of any miscommunication or hesitation. The performance of secondary players, linebackers stepping into larger roles, and situational defensive calls will all contribute to the Bears' ability to contain explosive plays and generate turnovers, potentially shifting momentum in crucial moments. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The city of Chicago, and indeed the entire National Football League, is currently drowning in a tidal wave of unconfirmed yet utterly sensational speculation. The Bears are on the verge of, or have perhaps already completed, a seismic acquisition that promises to fundamentally alter their defensive identity and, potentially, the entire NFC North power structure. Whispers circulating through league circles, from the luxurious boxes in Soldier Field to the back channels of rival general managers, suggest that the organization has successfully landed a premier generational talent at the pass-rushing position. This isn't just a signing. If the deafening buzz is accurate, this is the arrival of a certified defense transformer, a player so dominant he single-handedly changes game planning for opposing offenses. Sources, highly placed but strictly anonymous, claim the deal was executed with the kind of ruthless efficiency and secrecy usually reserved for covert operations, catching every media insider and rival executive completely off guard. The alleged target is a sack artist widely recognized as one of the most disruptive forces in modern football, a man whose ability to turn a simple four-man rush into absolute chaos is unparalleled. Imagine the immediate and overwhelming impact this presence would have on a Bears front that has, for too long, relied on grit over guaranteed terror. The mere mention of this player's rumored arrival has reportedly sent tremors through the offices of the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions, forcing a frantic and sudden reconsideration of their offensive line depth charts. One veteran scout, speaking on condition of absolute anonymity, described the player as the missing catalyst, the ignition switch that turns a good unit into an elite, championship-caliber monster. The financial implications are, predictably, staggering. While the precise terms remain shrouded in mystery, the numbers being tossed around in the rumor mill are astronomical, suggesting the Bears brass committed fully to a win-now philosophy, sacrificing future cap flexibility for immediate, game-changing dominance. The prevailing theory is that the team executed a masterful salary cap manipulation to accommodate the behemoth contract, signaling an aggressive pivot from rebuilding patience to title-contending urgency. The secondary effect of this supposed move is equally dramatic: the sudden, exponential improvement of every single player around the new star. Cornerbacks will gain precious milliseconds of coverage time. Linebackers will have wider lanes to blitz or defend a run, and the overall defensive energy, the sheer intimidation factor, will skyrocket. The atmosphere surrounding the team is thick with anticipation, a mix of disbelief and ecstatic hope. Whether this earth-shattering transaction is truly done or still in its final, tense negotiations, one thing is certain. The tranquility of the NFL season has been shattered, and the Bears are, by all accounts, ready to shock the world. The confirmation, when it finally drops, will be nothing short of an explosion. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.